Welcome to our news roundup, and here are the headlines you need to know so far in April. The big news to come out of Singapore is of course Grab's entry into the taxi market. On 2nd April, the LTA awarded Grab the street hail operator license that's valid for 10 years, of which the company can begin operations from 9th April. This license also gives Grab a 3-year grace period to build up its fleet of taxis to the minimum of 800. To be called GrabCab, this new company will be Singapore's 6th taxi company and will be a subsidiary under Grab Rentals. While this makes sense, being in the taxi industry also means that the new fleet will need to comply with LTA standards as outlined within the license. What this basically means is that the taxis will need to look like taxis so that they are easily identifiable on the roads. Other regulatory requirements include the car's ability to carry a folded wheelchair and luggage. As such, any car models that Grab would want to add to their fleet must be LTA approved. Grab also mentions that any additions will be hybrid and electric. In terms of fares, GrabCab must also follow the same taxi fare structure as other operators, and this must be prominently displayed on the taxis for passengers to be made aware of. Where Grab is hoping to differentiate itself from the more traditional taxi companies though is through the use of tech, thanks to their wealth of experience as a ride-hailing app which benefits not only passengers but also their drivers. With the number of taxis plummeting in Singapore and together with the competition of the ever-growing ride-hailing market, it will be interesting to see if Grab will be able to attract drivers. At the very least, having more taxis on the road is good news for passengers on apps or at taxi stands. In not so good news, however, Opel's days in Singapore are now numbered. According to reports, authorized distributor in Singapore, Auto Germany, has decided not to continue selling Opel cars. The reason it has been cited is the brand's inability to offer any competitive or suitable models in the near future for the market here. The dealer will officially wind down either at the end of 2025 or when they have sold their last Opel car, whichever comes first. There is a silver lining for Opel owners though. The dealer has at least committed to continue after-sales support of Opel cars until a new dealer is appointed or until there are no more Opel cars on the road. This other brand though appears to have left without telling anyone. Launched only a couple of months ago, Neta has seemingly packed up for good. According to reports, their showroom has been cleared out and calls to the authorized dealer, Volt Auto, have gone unanswered. Speculations online point towards the Neta brand in general being in troubled waters in China. This comes in the wake of layoffs, shuttering of their factories and R&D team, and lackluster sales amid rumors of being on the verge of bankruptcy. Enough of all the depressing news, here's something cool to look forward to thanks to Hyundai at the 2025 Seoul Mobility Show in South Korea. The big news? We finally have the long-awaited facelift to the Ioniq 6. The most visible change that will hit you immediately will be its front end, and specifically the headlights. Gone are the all-encompassing headlamps. In its place are 2 strips of parametric pixel DRLs which double as signal indicators, while the main beams have been moved down towards the bumper like the Kona. Another noticeable change is at the back. Gone is the top ducktail spoiler, while the lip just above the taillights has been extended to maintain the aerodynamic performance of the car. Expect everything else to be a largely similar experience to the pre-facelifted Ioniq 6 for the interior and performance. Now, if you're looking specifically for that added oomph, Hyundai is answering your prayers with the Ioniq 6 N-Line, and later in July, the much-anticipated Ioniq 6 N. Both cars have been inspired by the RN22E concept car in styling and for the Ioniq 6N in performance as well. Aside from the body kit, the other more obvious way to tell the base Ioniq 6 apart from its N-Line and N siblings is the taillight. The N-Line and N do without the parametric pixel taillights going across the boot. In their place is a blacked out panel with the Ioniq 6 nameplate across it flanked by a thin line of pixel lights. While we wait for the arrival of the facelifted Ioniq 6, here are some new cars launched in Singapore that you can already buy now. First off, the new Audi A5 is a welcome reprieve from the German-mix barrage of SUVs and e-tron line of EVs. While we mourn the loss of cars like the Audi A5 Sportback and A4 Sedan, this new A5 is a good middle ground successor to both. It has a design reminiscent of the RS e-tron on the outside, while on the inside you will be greeted by Audi's digital stage panoramic curve panel running the latest generation MMI. Again, this is not an e-tron model, it's a proper combustion-powered executive sedan. In terms of performance, you get a 2-litre engine that produces 201 brake horsepower and 340 Nm of torque for a 0-100 timing of 7.8 seconds. Prices for the Audi A5 start at $287,999 inclusive of COE. Next up, we have the facelifted Volvo XC90. This model needs no introduction as it is one of the mainstays in the SUV segment and has earned a reputation for being one of the safest cars on the road. It features a refined design to put it in line with Volvo's recent releases, while the interior gets an updated infotainment system, more storage space, and premium recycled materials. The XC90 will be available in two variants, the B5 and the T8. The B5 is powered by a mild hybrid 2-litre engine with 245 brake horsepower and 360 Nm of torque. This variant goes from 0 to 100 in 7.7 seconds and has a top speed of 180 km/h. Then there's the T8, a PHEV with a combined output of 461 brake horsepower and 400 Nm of torque from a similar 2-litre engine. The T8 has a quicker 0 to 100 timing of 5.4 seconds and can achieve an impressive combined range of about 800 km. Prices start at $418,000 for the B5 and $488,000 for the T8, both inclusive of COE. Finally, we have Maserati, which have finally introduced their Folgore range of EVs to the Singapore market. The models which have received the electric treatment here are the Grecale, Gran Turismo and Gran Cabrio. Folgore in Italian means lightning, an apt name for Maserati's EV range. First up, the Grecale Folgore is powered by two electric motors that have a combined 550 brake horsepower and 820 Nm of torque. It accelerates from 0 to 100 in 4.1 seconds and is backed by a massive 105 kWh battery. Prices for the Grecale Folgore start at $438,800 without COE. Then, we have the Gran Turismo and Gran Cabrio Folgore. Both feature very similar performance figures. The highlight is surely the three electric motors powering the car, one at the front and two at the back. They produce a combined 715 brake horsepower and 1,350 Nm of torque. The Gran Turismo goes from 0 to 100 in 2.7 seconds, while the Gran Cabrio in 2.8 seconds. A 0.1 second deficit isn't bad considering convertibles are always heavier than coupes. On that note, being heavier also affects range slightly. While both are powered by a 92.5 kWh battery, the Gran Turismo has a range of 455 km, while the Gran Cabrio is a tad lower at 447 km. The Gran Turismo and Gran Cabrio Folgore don't come cheap though, with prices starting at $858,800 and $888,800 respectively, again before COE. Okay, so my brain is fried, I'm digesting a lot, I'm sure you guys are digesting a lot as well. And again, if you have any opinions, feel free to let us know down in the comments. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos and follow us on TikTok at Sgcarmart for the latest happenings. That's all from me today and I will see you in the next video. Bye!